Moving on to our favorite couple here, or broken up couple, Russell Westbrook. He is still hurt and angry about Kevin Durant's decision to leave Oklahoma City for Golden State.
Wait, who wrote that damn topic?
According to Royce Young, I don't know, somebody's name rhymes with Lamel. Those close to Westbrook tell Young that Westbrook is not only upset about Durant leaving, but because Durant didn't even call, but because Durant also didn't call to tell him personally. The two also haven't spoken since all this went down. Does Russ have a right to be mad?
Is that really a question?
Yeah, it's really a question.
Of course he's got a right to be mad, especially about the fact that he hasn't heard from Durant since they went out to dinner with Nick Collison at a BOA Steakhouse in L.A. Have you been there?
Yes,
I
actually have. Yep, very good.
Yeah, so they went out to dinner. They made the last pitch. You make a decision, a seismic decision, to go to Golden State of all teams, and Russ has never heard from you of all people? I mean, that's not quite LeBron not telling Dan Gilbert level,
right?
But it's very close. This is the same guy that you went at Mark Cuban's neck at a press conference saying he's an idiot because you got a fellow superstar. You were together for 8 years. That's how you break up? I mean, you owe it to Russell Westbrook. You don't owe it to him to stay. You have to do what's best for you. But you do owe him the courtesy of explaining, hey, man, it's been real. I appreciate everything that you put on the line. You are a great teammate. This is not about you. Don't leave it to people like us to interpret your motivation, and you have to debunk it in the media that you didn't leave because you were tired of playing Russ and preferred to play Golden State style of basketball. Tell Russ that himself. Now he's in a position, as Royce Young lays out on .com, he's in a position to have to now make a career decision for himself, because you have the Thunder, who are between a rock and a hard place as it relates to waiting out this year or trading him as a preemptive strike to him maybe leaving. And you got Russ with the weight of the franchise on him. And contrary to what you and others want to believe, he doesn't want to take all the shots. He wants to win. And his chances of winning were exponentially greater with Kevin Durant. So, yes, he has a right to be upset at Durant for leaving and not telling him why,
well,
with no Dear John letter.
It appears that they had two very different ideas about what this friendship really was. And sometimes that happens. I'll say this, maybe, and I'm not asking people to give Kevin Durant a pass for this necessarily, but more just like to understand it. Maybe part of the reason he didn't call and tell Russell Westbrook before, when he knew his decision, and maybe before he told Golden State, I don't know, whatever timeline kind of matches up, maybe because he didn't want to have his mind change. Or maybe it was that's your good,
I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's your good friend, and maybe he knew he would be hurt, and it was a hard conversation for him to have. And I know people be like, well, these are grown men and blah, blah, blah. Well, sometimes with your closest friends, you can wind up doing hurtful things unintentionally, and maybe that's part of what this was. Look, he made the decision that he felt was best for him. Kevin Durant did.
And I'm sure Russ can respect that.
He can, but at the same time, he's also an emotional person himself. And maybe he wasn't. Either way it went, maybe Kevin Durant knew Russell Westbrook isn't going to understand what I decide no matter what.
Okay,
especially because it's Golden State.
Well, if you are conviction with your decision, then it doesn't matter what Russell or anybody else says. He talked to the organization, he talked to Sam Presti, he talked to ownership, he talked to somebody. If, as reported, he has not talked to Russell Westbrook, that's foul. That's foul. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now.
I like to hear this.
Make a move and don't call me. Make a move and I not know.
Look,
there's gonna be some furniture movement. It's gonna be some furniture movement.
I don't like. We had this discussion on the podcast when it came to Michael Strahan and Kelly Ripa, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, well, maybe this relationship wasn't what people thought it was to be. Now, could I imagine myself doing that to you?
Well, first of all, let's just get something straight. There's no place you can go that's higher than this. Like, there's no upgrade from me.
Oh, okay.
Let's just start with that. Like, there's no promotion out there for you.
Well, I would say this.
You understand what I'm saying?
If I got another...
Like, I'm Lou Rawls.
You Lou
You'll never find.
So,
no matter where you look.
Harold Melvin, I'm the Blue Nose?
No. I'm just saying you'll never find, no matter where you look, someone who cares about you the way
there
that I
are other decisions that factor in, as we know, in these situations. And let's say I did get a competing offer from a network.
Hypothetically. It's some alternate universe.
Some alternate universe,
Sure.
if that actually happened. If it was, I would like to think, taking the co-host and the professional stuff aside, that just as my friend, that we would be able to talk about it. Now, I will say this, if I already had my mind made up and I didn't want to change.
I've never changed your mind about anything. So what's the danger in calling me?
So, but I don't know if I would call you before or after. As in, like, I might say.
After the contract been signed?
Not after the not that late. Not after the contract had been signed. I might not be in the mode to want to be convinced, because I know you would try to convince me, and maybe I don't want to be convinced. So maybe I might.
It depends on how much money you're getting.
Right.
If somebody breaking you off something that they ain't paying you here, I'm not going to hold you back from that.
No, I don't.
But we've been through too much together for you to just be like, I'm out.
No, I wouldn't do that.
And now, you know, it within 8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And now Russ has to now decide, you know, how he's going to proceed.
Well, it's forced him into a decision that maybe he wasn't ready to make.
Because in that conversation, do we know whether Russ disclosed whether or not he was going to stay or go? We don't know that either. It's just, I was surprised by that. But all that said, what do the Thunder do now? I mean, everybody's in a tough spot now. They expected Durant to be there. He reportedly was shopping for a house.
Yeah.
All indications that he was staying. That's the other part. If he'd have given signals of some kind that he was going to leave, again, I'm not begrudging him for making the best decision for himself. But the way he went about it led everybody, including Russ around him, apparently to believe that he was staying. And now when you do a 180 and go to Golden State,
but
the way that's it, come on, and that's the other part of it.
Right.
It's not like you went home to D.C.
Right.
No explanation necessary. He went to Golden State.
But see,
you got to tell me why.
That's what.
Like, there are certain shows that if you went to,
I gotta
certain
tell you
networks
why.
that you went to,
I have to tell
certain
you why.
people that you work with, yeah, we need to have a conversation.
I guess.
It's not that I possess you or anything like that.
I know that. You ain't the boss of me.
It's
We know
just
that.
certain things we'd have to get situated.
Okay.
I'm
we have
just
to
saying.
have some dialogue about.
Right.
Okay.